Now, breaking news from News Central. Just last week, we brought you a special report where we told you that the mothers of two teenage boys in Lagos who were, of course, trafficked. They were lured out of their homes and out of the country. Now, the two mothers had been making noise and asking for people to help them investigate. Our special correspondent on investigative journalism took up the story. The boys who reside in the Ikota resettlement area in Lagos State were reportedly lured and abducted by unidentified individuals who promised them jobs and trafficked them out of Nigeria. Now, News Central special correspondent on investigative journalism, Marshall Ononye, is right now in Ghana bringing us live updates because News Central decided to follow this case to the very end. And that's the kidnap and trafficking of Daniel and Zeal, with a view to helping police rescue them. Marshall, tell us what the latest is. Now, this is a story we've been following since last week, and you went to Ghana just yesterday to see what could be done.
So we're here in a region in Ghana where the boys were kept, and we followed the case up when their parents called us, and we did that report on the Nigerians who were abducted and brought to Africa in Accra, Ghana, and subjected to some inhuman treatment, and then eventually forced to carry out some nefarious fraudulent activities online. And in collaboration with the Ghanaian police who led us to this place, we eventually rescued the victims. This house is where they were kept. If you can come along with me, I'll just show you. This building is occupied by the man whom they know as chairman, and he kept the boys here. Let's just go inside and I'll show you the rooms where these boys were kept. And they had several laptops, computers, internet, access to the internet, and were carrying out several nefarious activities online. Here we had just dismantled a workstation which was here, and the boys had their chairs here, and this was basically where they mounted the laptops and were chatting up with business corporations from all over the world and trying to intercept business transactions and have the monies or payment for these transactions diverted to their own account. These boys, some of them, let's see your back. Let's see. This is a machete and a butcher's knife. These were the kind of items that were used to maltreat these boys. If you take a look at his back, you'd find these injuries were done with this machete on his back. For why were you beaten with the machete?
Because I told him I wanted to go back home.
Because you told him you wanted to go back home. How long have you been here?
It's over a month now.
Over a month now?
Yes.
Okay, and in that period of time, we went into tracking these guys and discovering their location. If you just come further, I'll take you to one of the rooms where these people others were kept. Now here we found a few electronics. We found some gadgets as well that they were using to intercept some business transactions and business deals of several companies from all over the world and diverting payments for those transactions to their accounts. Now, when we came into this place with the Ghanaian police, we discovered we were initially following two boys from Nigeria, but we got here and we found 6 boys kept in this building. The next room I'm about to show you is the room where the man known as chairman was occupying. He was occupying this room. The Ghanaian police had come here. They had also ransacked here. And in this room we found several mobile phones, travel documents of the culprit, the alleged trafficker, or the alleged kidnapper. We also found different kinds of drugs in this room, from marijuana to some others I might not be able to readily identify or mention. This is a closet which was used by the man known as chairman, who is currently at large. Now, we were able to gain entrance to this place. Upon arrival, the place was under lock and key, and the policemen had to break the locks, and we gained access into the compound. But these boys were locked, still locked in this building. For days, they said they've not eaten. For days, they've not had their bath. Just internet access, laptop, and doing whatever it was that they were told to do. Tolu?
It's interesting to me, as you said earlier, we were on this because of a call that News Central received from a friend of the family's who said that there was a case he wanted us to shine a spotlight on. And now you are in Ghana. You've seen the 2 boys, and now we've also seen 4 more boys. Do we know where some of these boys, some of these other boys are from? Are they from Nigeria? Are they from Ghana? Are they from countries outside of Nigeria or Ghana? Where are they from?
So the information we have, aside from the 2 boys we were trailing, whose locations we were tracking, we had the other boys who are from Ghana, and we had, I think, 2 extras from Nigeria as well. And the information we also have is that another person whose location we're hoping that we get to find out sooner than later is one person who is on top of it all on another side of the world. But right now in Ghana, the man who is referred to as chairman, I might not be able to disclose his name at the moment, but is currently at large. We're told that earlier today in the morning he left the apartment as he usually would anytime, and to return later this evening. The police are going to be on his trail too.
All right, let's talk about the Ghana police. As we said, we've been on this story for a while now. It was initially phone calls, and then it came to a meeting yesterday and earlier today to exchange information and to brief. Really tell us about the role the Ghana police have played in this and how they've been quite receptive to working with the media at this point, working with News Central on this story.
Ghanaian police have been very, very proactive. They spared nothing, no bureaucracy. They spared nothing for us to get on top of this. We only had contacted them a few days ago and arrived here only last night. And this morning we had a debriefing session, and then they mobilized their team members, and then we moved to location. It was a little bit tough locating the area initially because of the kind of topography. It's a developing site, but the Ghanaian police were on top of it, and in no time we located the place and then established contact with the victims here. So bottom line, they were really, really proactive.
And we also know there is a family member who has made the trip as well, because these young boys are minors. They are considered minors, and they would need to be handed over to a relative. So in terms of what you've seen, maybe has there been a reunion with the family member? If there has been, what has been that response? I know we'll be talking to them later on, and you as well. But just give the viewers, this is breaking news for us, a very proud moment for News Central in working with the Ghanaian police to be able to effect this rescue. But in terms of the family now and these 2 young boys, knowing that they were rescued, what were their initial reactions? Okay,
so let me start off from where you started off by saying that these boys are minors. They are 18 years and above. So I don't think you would consider that minors. They are already adults, and they will be investigated and treated as such. And upon entry into this building, they were really excited. But of course, Tolu, they hadn't eaten for days, and they've been starved. They've been also, they didn't have water, and they've not had their bath for days. So the enthusiasm or the celebration mood you would expect naturally, the hurrah, might not have been there, but of course you could see excitement on their faces. They were relieved. One of them has a broken hand. That machete I showed you earlier on was used to hit him on the hand, and eventually he said he has a fracture. That has not been medically ascertained, but then, you know, they were exhausted. You could see exhaustion all over them, but they managed to, you know, eke a smile, you know, on their faces. And of course, who wouldn't be happy to be rescued from such a dungeon?
Absolutely. So what is next, Marshal? You did say that the man known as chairman, who seems to be in charge of the operation, is at large. The Ghana police say they will continue to track him, but you also mentioned that there might be another individual and another operation. So just give us an idea of what's next.
What's next? The Ghanaian police are still working on this. It's still going to be an ongoing investigation. The victory is for us is that these people have been rescued, and they will be reunited with their family. Tolu, hold on. News just reaching us now says they've been able to trace one of the suspects, and we have to go off this transmission to get on their trail. As much as this is live, we do know that they are not watching, so it's a plus for us. We have to get back on their trail, Tolu.
All right, absolutely. Marshall, thank you so much. From a story you covered last week to crossing the border into Ghana and now to affecting the rescue of these young boys and, of course, some of the other young men with them. Thank you so much for the work that you do. We'll continue to get in touch with you, and we'll be seeing more developments in this story in the coming days, in the coming hours, rather, because I know a lot of developments will be coming in today. Thank you so much, Marshall. All right, and that's as much as we can take on this breaking news. You can follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. All the updates are there, and if you missed the special report that sparked this investigation that News Central, of course, went on, you can go to our social media timelines to find that report and see the beginning of this story. And now we are closer to the end. 2 young boys rescued, family waiting to receive them, as well as News Central. Thank you so much.